All right, good morning, guys. Just wanted to do a quick review. I didn't take any trades today, still haven't. I think I'm done for the day. Nothing too interesting, especially after expanding. We're nearly down almost 2%, I believe. Yeah, almost 2%. So my final target got met if I was going to go short, but I was more leaning towards bullish bias towards these highs up here. Why bullish bias? We had an SMT on the 4 hour as well. So if we zoom out and we look at the 4 hour chart, when market opened, we dumped and created two displacements on the 5, but this low here on the 4 hour had not been taken on NQ, and we took it on ES. So this SMT started to confirm my bias of being bullish. And also given that overnight we slowly trickled down and we had left a lot of liquidity resting above these areas. So I was really interested on NQ for these relative highs. And so, yeah, I just stuck with that idea and that plan. So when we saw this displacement on the 5 coming down, I saw this as a form of just manipulation just to go higher. And so we started to confirm that as well, as we can see. We started to displace higher here, and there was probably an inducing setup for a lot of people. I didn't take this because it didn't follow any of my models. So this right here, for people that trade inversions, they're probably in here, and they would have got edged on their TP right here. Or might have filled them, but it created an SMT here. So something to note, when NQ went higher here, it didn't quite take this high. And on ES, we did take this high. So let me drop to the 1 minute and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So right here, we went ahead and took this high. And from here, you want to notice the significance of the displacement lower on the 5 minute. So we displaced lower here on the 5 on both indices. And at this point, I started to kind of drop my long bias, but I was not able to really drop these highs. I wanted to see the highs. Very similar to yesterday, except we didn't get induced into any trades. This is now the second day I've been wrong on my bias, which hasn't happened like in 2 weeks, but it happens. Some days you're not going to be correct on where the market's going. Typically, I'm pretty good at knowing where the market's going. Like this trade I'll go over right here that I did not take, but we did take read it. And it's good knowledge to know, good experience to for next time, of course. But after this displacement on the 5, we drop to the 1 minute and we have this death candle right here. And we immediately start rebalancing the candle back up. I was not interested in this because I felt like this was going to be an inducement to continue higher. And given that we left these highs, which was an SMT, these relative highs right here would keep me from going short right here. Now, however, notice the order block right after this huge displacement. At this point, my attention went to here as soon as we reached that point. Notice how we respect this bearish order block here. I'll zoom in to make it easier on the visibility. We respect the order block here and we immediately displace. After this candle's wick on the respectiveness of this order block, if your bias is short, which mine was not, this is a really good entry. Notice how we come back into 50% of this wick right there. And then we respect it on the next candle. And what is an order block meant to do? Like yesterday, change the state of delivery. So if we're delivering higher, we're meant to deliver lower, right? But yeah, so this was a really good trade to tape read for me. I was not going to take it because it didn't align with my bias, it didn't align with my plan, and I intend to follow that every time. So obviously, if you were going short, this would have been the first target here and the more realistic target rather than targeting the 4 hour low. The 4 hour low would have been more so for your runners or any trade, which would have just got tapped not too long ago. So it's really nice to see, market's still going to move algorithmically to the areas that it needs to move. But if you're wrong on your bias, you're wrong on your bias. You're more than likely not going to get a trade. But again, these highs, I'd rather not risk it and follow my plan. So if my plan was to take longs, I'm waiting for my setup to present itself in the higher time frame. And if it doesn't present itself, then there's no need for me to be inducing myself to go the other direction if I'm not willing to adapt as easy. If I'm having a hard time adapting, it is what it is. I just don't adapt to that condition at the moment. Given that it's also Friday, I've had 2 green days this week. We took a short Tuesday, we took 2 longs Wednesday. I'd rather not force something to end red or risk too much. I could have also taken this with very low leverage. That would have been fair. But again, we took a loss on Thursday. Rather just no trade today and then start fresh next week. It's good for the mental. You maintain obviously your mental capital intact, given that your bias was bullish and the trade presented itself bearish. So no need to, beat yourself too much over it, and just kind of learn from it. We can see that now bullish PD arrays here start getting disrespected, like this small gap, and we start using them as the continuation to the downside. So things to note: when we are in a change of trend like this, we're going to start seeing bullish PD arrays become disrespected and then being used as a form of support there, or resistance. And yeah, so we meet our targets here. More than likely, I'm not going to be trading this anymore. We moved down nearly 2%, so I'm no longer interested in today. So I'll be taking the rest of the day off and then just back testing it later. I'll probably do a video on the weekend going over the trades I took early in the week, since I didn't have a video for those. They're really good trades. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to follow on Instagram. I do post the trades on there. So yeah, we'll be posting a lot more content. So stay tuned for all that stuff. And if you guys have any suggestions, drop them in the comments. Reach out to me, DM me on Instagram. That'll be great. Have a great day, guys. Take care.